Today I will build an ultimate crypto portfolio for 2024. You are early. You still can enter tokens at great levels and still make from 10 to 20x on these tokens in a fully fledged bull market. You just have to understand what tokens to buy and what tokens not to buy. And difference between holding a good token in the bull market and holding a bad token can be as much as 50x in case of a good token and 5x in case of a bad token. It's very important to understand what to buy and what to hold as well. You cannot lose this opportunity. This crypto bull market will be the last opportunity where retail can make generational wealth. After that, this space is going to become heavily regulated and it's going to be much harder to do that. We will go through each and every token. I will provide you with my feedback on why I actually put this token into the list. We will go through the narrative, fully diluted valuation of the token. We will go through the social sentiment. We will go through technical parts and what actually the token is doing in the marketplace. And we will also figure out how many X's the token will do and why this token is a good hold on this bull market. If you have a question what to buy, if you have a question when to enter, this is the video for you. These are the tokens that I specifically picked that are still a good buy at this stage, that you will be making a lot of money on if you will be entering at these stages as well. Let's begin. First things first, we have to start with the understanding of the narratives. Crypto is being traded based on narratives. You have to accept that hype is better in the bull market than anything else. Any team, any foundation, any partnerships, people will be throwing the money into these things. And with the understanding of narratives, you have to understand why we are going to have the bull market in the first place. We have two main catalysts for it this year. The first one, we will have a wave of retail coming in once BTC will break up the all-time high. Secondly, we'll have a bunch of institutions and institutional money coming into crypto as well through Bitcoin ETF that will essentially pump the price of the tokens on the marketplace as well. It's very important to understand what is the profile of the person who would be entering the market and where they're coming from. And I would tell you that a lot of these people, they would be coming from the stock market. And probably a lot of them, they made money in stock market on narratives like AI, on companies like Nvidia and some others. Therefore, it would be very convenient and comfortable for them to put the money in the same type of tokens in crypto, similar to the companies that they were already able to make money on in stocks. Very important to understand. Speaking of the narratives and the allocation of portfolio of different narratives, 50% of the portfolio in blue chips. It's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Nothing else. You have to have these two tokens if you're just coming into crypto or if you're a seasoned participant as well. We do have certain scenarios where these two tokens might outperform everything else just because of the fact BTC has the ETF opened already. Ethereum might have the ETF approved in May. Therefore, they might be surging like crazy just because of all the inflows of institutional money coming through these ETFs. The next narrative we have gaming. The reason I have it at this large percent is because it's very easy narrative to understand for retail as well. And I do think that the gaming will onboard the largest amount of users. Very important to understand as well. Gaming will onboard largest amount of users, but not largest amount of investors. Investors would be following something else. Next thing we have is DeFi. DeFi is very easy to understand for institutions who are coming from finance background, and most of them, they're coming from the finance background. DeFi did very well in the last cycle as well, and I do believe DeFi will do very well this cycle too. I have DeFi and BTC DeFi. Overall, it's 11.5% of this portfolio that I'm sharing in this video today. Next thing is AI. I do actually think that with the AI narrative, you can increase the percentage of the allocation. Just because of the fact a lot of people, they made money on Nvidia stocks and other AI companies. It's marketed very well already. Everyone is talking about AI. Everyone is seeing what AI is capable of. Therefore, I think this might be one of the top performing narratives for retail and institutions as well. Because institutions, they made a bunch of money on AI projects already as well. So it's very easy for them to come in and essentially invest into AI projects as well, because they do understand certain things. They have some processes set up. They have due diligence set up as well. So it's quite easy for them to understand this narrative. Therefore, they would be investing funds into this narrative as well. I would say that 6% is quite low that I have. You can easily increase allocation on your portfolio into AI tokens to 10 or 15 or even 20%. I think the whole narrative will be doing very, very well. Next one we have is layer 1s. We will have the issue of transaction costs on BTC and Ethereum surging up like crazy in the full pool. Therefore, L1s will become very, very popular and liquidity will flow into different L1 solutions. These are essentially blockchains, some EVM based, some not. I will provide you with a list of them, the reasoning behind them, and which are the ones that I would suggest to invest money into as well. Next narrative is meme coins. You cannot neglect meme coins narrative in crypto. It's the easiest thing for retail to throw the money at, and it will happen again. They will be throwing the funds into meme coins in the bull cycle as well. This is inevitable, and you cannot neglect this narrative too. Next thing is Bitcoin DeFi, which is very, very interesting by itself, and you probably would not find this narrative in between a lot of influencers, in between a lot of YouTube channels, Twitter channels, and things like that. I do think Bitcoin DeFi will get unlocked this cycle as well. To my view, it's going to be one of the best performing narratives as well. Although we might have the issue of the market fading this narrative if the technology won't be there, if it won't be that useful. Therefore, it's the one of the risky ones, I would say. DePIN is decentralized infrastructure. This is something you can basically focus on because I think it will do very, very well, especially with the fact it has close connections to AI in certain projects as well. I do think that projects that have connection of AI and DePIN would do very, very well in this bull market. Ethereum layer 2s, default thing as well. Transactions on Ethereum, they go up. Therefore, people will be moving into Ethereum layer 2s. There are a bunch of them on the marketplace currently. I would provide you with a couple options that you can actually put your money into as well. DEXs. We all saw what happened with Binance, what happened with FTX as well. Centralized exchanges will be dying out on the long enough time frame. The main reason for that is because regulators, they will come, and the first thing that they will be focusing on, the first thing that they will be killing are centralized exchanges. They will be removing the option to trade derivatives and futures on centralized exchanges. Therefore, there would be a surge of liquidity and users into decentralized exchanges. It's already happening. Centralized exchanges are already investing funds into the development of decentralized platforms, decentralized exchanges for trading derivatives. Therefore, I think this narrative will do very, very well as well. Last but not least is Bitcoin Layer 1 ecosystem projects. I do think Bitcoin Layer 1 ecosystem will do very, very well. I'm specifically speaking about BRC20 tokens and ordinals, and I think this is something that will do very well in the upcoming bull cycle as well. You can also see a list of different tokens that I have here, and we will also do the exercise of essentially ranking them in terms of the potential, in terms of how much access each of them will be doing in the full bull cycle as well. We are starting in the first place with Bitcoin. You cannot neglect Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something everyone knows. If Bitcoin will dump, no one essentially would be following the market as well. It's very, very important. It's the largest and most secure blockchain. Interesting thing that we have this cycle is actually the fact that there might be the case that BTC will get unlocked. From the point of view of layer 1 assets, from the point of view of Bitcoin DeFi, even the metaverse on Bitcoin, and from the point of view of Bitcoin layer 2 solutions. I think it's going to be a huge, huge narrative, and you should definitely follow it as well. It's not just BTC this cycle. We have other products in the ecosystem of BTC, even NFTs, that you can actually put your money in. I think that BTC will do from 2 to 5x this cycle. 2x is more on the conservative side. 5x, it would essentially put it at 250k. But we also have certain projections from people stating that there would be a supply shock on BTC, and we might be seeing as high as 600k or 700k per BTC this cycle. I don't believe these projections much, but anything might happen, and it definitely has some logic behind it, along with the supply shock of BTC that might happen eventually, depending on how much institutions will be getting onboarded into the whole ecosystem. Right now, the time of recording of this video, BTC is at $52,000. and we are trading sideways for quite some time already. Next thing is Ethereum. Some people are calling Ethereum a testnet for BTC, but obviously it's a separate, largest token and ecosystem and project by itself with smart contract implementation, and most of things in crypto right now they're built based on Ethereum. DeFi is very alive on Ethereum, and Ethereum pumped like crazy after the introduction of DeFi into the whole ecosystem as well. I do think that Ethereum will be doing somewhere from 5 to 10x at this stage, which would essentially put Ethereum somewhere from 12.5 to 25,000 at the top of this cycle. I would be looking for somewhere from $12 to $15,000 per one Ethereum. I think it's going to do well. I think that there are a bunch of developments going on Ethereum as well. They have an exciting upgrade soon that should significantly decrease gas fees for Ethereum layer 2 solutions, therefore make them more usable and easily accessible for the public as well. And different people can be saying different things, but we still see that largest TVL, total value locked on chain, is $48 billion on Ethereum. And we still have Arbitrum 1, which is a layer 2 on Ethereum, as the third place, 3.5 billion. Therefore, I still think there are very good things coming for Ethereum, and many developments are going to be done on this chain, because if you want liquidity as developer, you have the only place to go, Ethereum. You will not go somewhere else. The next project is Chainlink. Chainlink is something that actually is useful and being used in all the developments of the blockchain, custom blockchains, custom projects, protocols, and things like that. The main usage of Chainlink is actually using the oracles to get real-world data, and through this real-world data execute smart contracts. So smart contracts that are actually being executed based on the data provided by oracles in Chainlink. It's being used heavily in real-world assets. It's being adopted heavily by institutions as well. It had a pretty nice run already. I do think that it's going to do very well. In terms of all of the altcoins moving forward, I would be expecting at least 10x from them in this cycle, despite the fact that Chainlink had run quite nice already. We see that the market cap is at $11 billion and the fully diluted market cap is $20 billion, which is not that bad. It had a pretty nice run from $7 to 20, which is about a 3x at this stage. I do think it will run way more in the cycle. The only issue I might have that it's not that retail friendly. Mostly, I would say institutions might be getting into the Chainlink, and people with funds, serious investors, software developers, technical people that understand what exactly is happening with Chainlink, therefore they would essentially be investing into the project as well. But it's something that's been used by most of the smart contracts at this stage in the whole ecosystem of blockchain development. Therefore, I think it will do very well in the full cycle. At this stage, I would put the Chainlink at 5 to 10x, closer to 10x. I want to be conservative, therefore I will not be putting Chainlink at 10 to 25x level. Next thing we have is Render. I'm actually quite bullish on Render because it's the combination of three narratives. It's the combination of AI, of decentralized infrastructure, DePIN, and gaming as well. I think it will do very well. And I think it's a very easy thesis for people from stock market to invest as well, for retail and for institutions, because they just made a bunch of money on Nvidia. Therefore, it would be very easy for them to put the money in Render and basically hold Render as well. And as we know, people from stock market, they will have a different mentality in terms of holding. So there might be a high chance that they would essentially be holding this token to zero and not be able to take profits. Right now, Render is at 2.3 billion market cap, which is still quite low at this stage. If you would ask me, I think it's going to be easily top 10 project once retail would come in and they would essentially be putting most of the funds into Render because they just made a bunch of money on Nvidia. Fully diluted is 3.2 billion, which is not that bad as well. I still think that actually Render is a good entry at this stage. If you don't want to buy these green candles, you can wait for a correction, but people were waiting for a correction here, and I think there are a lot of people who left sidelined and they were even waiting for the correction here because they wanted to buy here. I think it's going to do very well. With Render, I would want to put it at 10 to 25x, and I actually think it's going to do closer to 10 to 25x just because of the fact that it has crazy narrative for all the retail and institutions coming from the stock market into crypto and multiplying the stock market profit with crypto. Next in our list is Immutable X. Immutable X is the largest gaming token at this stage. It's a gaming ecosystem. So they would be essentially onboarding projects and game onto the ecosystem, onto their zk-Sync Layer 2 Ethereum solution. And it's actually very great, and it's actually quite bullish because their solution is using zk-Sync technology, which allows them to have very low fees on Ethereum blockchain. And they are onboarding games and they are onboarding projects into Ethereum ecosystem, which is something that no one else is basically doing. And the user experience is quite great in terms of essentially being able to spend your Ethereum on AVAX as well. They have a great team, they're based in the US, they have a bunch of partnerships. I do think it's going to do very well in the bull cycle. It's the top gaming token at this stage. The market cap of Immutable X is 4.7 billion and fully diluted market cap is 7 billion. So it's quite large from that point of view, but still I would say that with AVAX it would be able to do from 10 to 25 X's. I would say closer to 15, but I would put it after render. So it will do lower X's that render from my point of view. Mainly because of the reason that the market cap is quite large at this stage. Although it's basically the top gaming project, so people who would want to get some exposure into gaming, they would be putting the funds into AVAX. If they don't want to figure out different projects, different tokens, different games, they would be just putting their liquidity into AVAX, and I think even from these levels they will do very well in the full bull market. Next project is BEAM. BEAM is actually the project from the previous cycle. It was called Merit Circle. They renamed themselves. That's why basically people are viewing that token as something new in the marketplace. And that's why essentially actually pumping. And it's quite a great token by itself. The main reason for that is because it's a separate ecosystem. Their founders are in near Tokyo, which is the largest gaming community in whole crypto space as well. They are onboarding projects into the ecosystem and they would essentially have a bunch of games and a bunch of projects building within the ecosystem as well. Their website is quite interesting. If you see, it definitely has a very interesting user experience. I would say crypto specific, and there are a lot of people that are very bullish on this project. It's definitely a bit more riskier in comparison to AVAX, but I think it's a great beta play for gaming space as well, because it's infrastructure project, therefore it's safer than a separate game, but at the same time I think it will do very well, just because of the fact how well they're developing in the space, how many partnerships that they have. There is actually a partnership between BEAM, AVAX and MATIC in order to basically take control over everything that's going on in crypto gaming space as well, which is definitely very bullish for BEAM. BEAM right now is at 1.8 billion market cap, fully diluted is 2.2. I think if you would be entering even from these levels, this token will do very well. I would put BEAM at 10 to 25x, but the first one, before render and before AVAX as well. That's a great beta gaming token play. If you don't want to buy AVAX because AVAX is 3.5 times larger than BEAM, you might well enter into BEAM. AVAX. AVAX is basically a layer 1 blockchain. It's EVM based, and there is a range of gaming projects that are actually being developed currently using AVAX as well. The market cap is 14 billion at this stage, and fully diluted market caps is 28 billion as well. The reason I actually have AVAX is because I don't have Solana on my list. And the main reason why I have AVAX and I don't have Solana is because AVAX is moving right after Solana each and every time. So I think that AVAX is a great beta play if you want to get exposure and if you want to actually capture this movement on Solana. And the team is quite crypto friendly as well. They are investing certain funds into meme coins. They basically opened up a separate fund for investment into meme coins on AVAX because they are smart people and they understand that the easiest, cheapest and best marketing tool for any blockchain, layer 1 or layer 2, is basically launch your own meme token and push your meme tokens. It will provide you with the largest amount of volume on the chain, largest amount of people would be talking about your chain, and the largest amount of people will get onboarded on your chain. They will make some money or lose some money with the meme coin, but they will still live with the chain and they will probably check out other products and protocols and dApps that you have on the chain. AVAX is also the project from the older cycle. If you're watching this channel, you know that you should be very careful with the tokens of older cycle as well. But there are certain developments going on in this space, and as soon as Solana will perform nicely, AVAX will follow. So basically your AVAX holding will be certain type of long position on Solana. Market cap is quite large, but I do also expect large movements from Solana this cycle as well, maybe 6 to 7x from the current levels. Therefore, I would put AVAX at 5 to 10x, but before Chainlink and before Ethereum as well. I think AVAX will be doing quite well this cycle, and it's definitely a safer play. If you don't want to lose money, and the first rule of investment is don't lose your money, AVAX might be a great safe pick for yourself. Next project is Polygon MATIC. Polygon MATIC is the largest Ethereum layer 2 that basically appeared in the last cycle and did very well in the last cycle. And right now it's layer 2 solution that is developed far better than anything that you have on the marketplace in terms of the other layer 2s. And the main reason for that is just because they were developing the solution for quite some time already. They had the funding, they had the teams, so it just based on time, the team and investments. Because if you are developing something for 5 years, it would be better than something that was developing for 1 or 2 years. They are very deep in terms of ZK sync technology. They are very deep in gaming, and in general, I do see MATIC performing very well on the marketplace. I do like the steps that the team is actually taking and how they're developing the ecosystem. On Polygon, we also have Polygon CDK, which is a toolkit for developers to develop layer 2 blockchains very easily and streamlined and fast. And I do think that a lot of Bitcoin layer 2 solutions that would be coming out this year, they would be developed using Polygon CDK or either Cosmos SDK. The market cap for Polygon CDK is at 9.5 billion at this stage, and it's very interesting to see that the fully diluted market cap is almost the same, which basically shows us that it might be quite healthy if you would be investing into this token, because if you would be putting money into this token, that would essentially mean that you would not be getting diluted by early investors and by VCs that invested before you. On the other hand, it might be quite bearish because we might understand and see that there might be no manipulators left in the token to push the price of the token up. But following the developments of the team, following the fact that the founder of Ethereum was recently meeting with MATIC team, I do think it's going to do very well in the bull market as well. And the great thing about MATIC is that it did not yet break accumulation stage for the token as well. So it's actually quite a nice buy for this market too. If you would be holding this for 1.5 years, I think you would be doing very well. Great solution, great team, great project. I would want to put MATIC 5 to 10x and the first one. So before AVAX, before Chainlink, and before Ethereum as well. I think it will do quite well this market. Next token that we have is Stacks. Stacks is Bitcoin layer 2 solution that was developed for 5 years already. If you're following the market, you would know that there is a craze going on currently about Bitcoin layer 2s, about Bitcoin ecosystem narrative, about BRC20, about ordinals and things like that. And VCs right now, they are throwing the funds into Bitcoin layer 2 solutions. And here we have Stacks, something that was developed for last 5 years and is by far more superior technologically over each and every Bitcoin layer 2 that is being launched on the marketplace currently. One of the interesting things that you can see with Stacks is that it actually reached all-time high of the previous cycle already. It's very bullish for the token in top 25 market cap already reached previous all-time high. I don't think that we have a lot of the tokens on the marketplace at this stage. Even Bitcoin itself, it did not reach previous all-time high. We can see that the market cap is 3.9 billion and fully diluted market cap is at 5 billion at this stage, which is quite nice from the tokenomics point of view. That means that you will not get dumped on by early investors and VCs in this token. The community of Stacks is crazy. They're just holding. It's very healthy from the community point of view, and in general I think it's going to be one of the most performing tokens of this cycle, because I think that most of the liquidity from this craziness from BTC layer 2s would essentially end up in Stacks, and Stacks is an ultimate long position on Bitcoin itself. A Bitcoin layer 2 for Bitcoin builders. They do also have a range of projects inside the ecosystem that you can basically build with. They are allowing for the smart contracts to happen on BTC, and basically following their mining algorithm, they are directly connected to Bitcoin itself. They achieve finality of transactions on Bitcoin blockchain. This is something that not a lot of current Bitcoin layer 2s are actually able to achieve. I would want to put stacks at 25 to 50x from these levels. I do think that 4 billion token might be reaching 100 billion closer to the top of this cycle. Next project is Sui. Sui is a layer 1 blockchain by itself by Facebook team. They're using Move as their development language, which is quite nice by itself. The issue that I have with Sui is that the market cap of Sui is 2 billion at this stage, but fully diluted is 17 billion. They will have first huge unlocks in May, and then essentially more unlocks will follow after the first one. I know that it's highly manipulated tokens. They have market makers working behind the scene as well, and I think Sui will be getting pumped heavily this cycle. There are some people saying that it can actually break Doing rate of Ethereum and Solana and be the third chain in this Doing rate, basically making it Ethereum, Solana and Sui. It's not that crypto native at this stage, so it does not have a lot of meme coins and things like that. And I would say that's the main issue that the team should understand and adopt as well, because meme coins are the cheapest and easiest way to attract the largest amount of users into your chain. And some of them, they would essentially stay to use different products, to check out different protocols, which will definitely be the benefit for the chain and for the ecosystem as well. I see Sui doing at least a 10x from the current levels, but at the same time, we do have a crazy large fully diluted valuation at 17 billion already. So I would put it in between Render and IMX in 10 to 25x's. I do think it's going to do somewhere from 10 to 15x. Arbitrum, which is the layer 2 token on Ethereum. It's a new project. It's not from last cycle, so it never has seen a bull market yet, which is very, very bullish for any token that you are discovering. It's already top 40 crypto. I would say that it's the best and most used Ethereum layer 2 at this stage, despite MATIC. But if we would check by total value locked, we can see that Arbitrum 1 is third between all ecosystems, between all blockchains. It's already the third. It has more total value locked than Solana, than MATIC, than Avalanche, than Optimism, and all the other layer 1s and layer 2s as well, which is very, very bullish for this token. The issue that I might have with Arbitrum is basically the same issue that I have with Sui, is the fact that fully diluted market cap is $20 billion. So we know that there would be a bunch of unlocks this cycle, this year and next one as well, that would be diluting the token and the price of the token. Therefore, the market cap will be growing, but the price might be staying at the same levels. It's bearish from the point of investment into this token as well. Despite this fact, I do think that retail and essentially some of these VCs, they will not care about this thing. They will just be throwing money into Arbitrum, and I think it's going to do very, very well this cycle as well, just because of the fact this is largest layer 2 by total value locked on Ethereum at this stage. It never has seen a bull market yet, and it will see a bull market this cycle. I will be putting Arbitrum in 10 to 25x right after BEAM, because I'm quite bullish on this project, and I think great things essentially wait this project in the full bull market. Next project in our portfolio is DYDX. DYDX is basically a decentralized exchange. I'm on the website of this thing, and you can see right away that you can trade, you can set up some limit orders with smart contracts, which is very, very great, which is actually very, very useful. You can set up limit orders on the tokens that you only have on decentralized exchanges with DYDX tools that you have at this stage on the marketplace. Why I'm bullish on the narrative of decentralized exchanges? The main reason for that is because regulation will eventually come, and the first thing that the regulation will be doing is killing the option to trade derivatives on centralized exchanges. They will be asking them to provide all the necessary licenses, and most likely they will essentially remove these options from the exchanges. And exchanges already, like Bybit for example, they're investing funds into the development of their own decentralized derivative trading instruments, because this is the main business for them. Exchanges are making most money from leverage trading, from funding fees and from fees that people are opening on them in order to open longs and shorts on the exchange. I think DYDX will do very, very well, and one of the bullish things about DYDX is that it's also the token of news cycle. It's also still in the accumulation zone, so it didn't break out. So it's still a very, very great buy at this stage, because it did not breakout in comparison to other things like Render and some others essentially as well. We can also see that the market cap is at 1.3 billion at this stage and fully diluted is 3 billion, which is not that bad by itself as well. I do think that DYDX will do quite well in the full bull market. I would want to put it at 10 to 25x. It's quite hard to figure out at which level as well. I would probably be putting it between Beam and Arbitrum. And here we have Rollbit, which is a blockchain casino, which is one of the small amount of products and companies in crypto which is actually generating revenue, not just extracting value from the people who are investing into the project. And they're generating crazy revenue numbers as a casino basically should. It had a crazy breakout several months ago. It did so many X's for people who were invested in the accumulation stage. It's just crazy. But at the same time, it has seen a large correction. From the highs, it's around 50-45% at this stage. Therefore, actually, we are in a good buy zone for Rollbit long term. We see that the market cap is 460 million at this stage and fully diluted is 700 million. The tokenomics is quite nice as well, just because of the fact they are burning Rollbit tokens based on the revenue they are actually receiving. And they also have a very nice gamification in all the NFTs that they have in connection to Rollbit ecosystem, which I think will do quite well as well. Unfortunately, I can't reach the website because it's blocked in quite a few countries, but if you're using VPN, you can access it very easily. And I think Gamblify is going to do very well this cycle, because Gamblify is something that is natively connected to crypto. Some people are saying that crypto is just a casino for smart people, and here we have Rollbit, which is basically a casino inside crypto. Quite bullish on the token, quite bullish on the narrative. I don't think that it's pumped heavily at this stage, so I would want to put it 25 to 50x even before stacks, because obviously Rollbit has 8 times smaller market cap, and 25x for Rollbit would be 12.5 billion in the market cap, which I would say is very achievable for this token in the bull market. The next token is PEPE. PEPE is an ultimate meme coin on Ethereum. It was reaching 1.6 billion market cap in the bear market, as people say, and it actually been followed and pushed by a lot of influencers. A lot of the top influencers that you know on in crypto, they actually hold PEPE and they expect large movement from PEPE. It recently was added into Robinhood application as well. It's basically the smallest market cap token on Robinhood app, and there are no tokens except PEPE in Robinhood app that are lower than 10 billion market cap. Therefore, I think it will be doing very well in the bull market, with all the liquidity surging into PEPE as well, especially with the price of Ethereum going crazy. I would say it's an ultimate long position on Ethereum, although right now it's lagging just a bit. There are rumors that it's going to be added to Coinbase, which is just going to be crazy, and there would be a bunch of people in the US buying into this token as well, exactly the same way that they were buying into Dogecoin and Shiba Inu last cycle. I don't think you should be neglecting meme coins from your end for the reasons that I've shared already. Meme coin is the easiest tool for the team of the chain, for the marketing department of any chain to attract, to onboard the largest amount of people into the blockchain. PEPE is a $500 million market cap at this stage. I would actually want to put it at 50x if you would ask me, because at 50x it would be a 25 billion market cap, and we had things like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu essentially being 60 billion and 70 billion market cap last cycle. I do think that 25 billion market cap is quite achievable for PEPE with all the exposure that it's going to have. Next project is TRAC, and this is something that not a lot of people know of. TRAC is basically heading a separate narrative of BRC20 and ordinals in the ecosystem of Bitcoin. TRAC kind of actually works as this hedge fund. If you want to get exposure into BRC20 and ordinals, but you don't want to figure out different things, how it actually works, install different wallets, and understand what specifically is happening inside ecosystem, you might just want to buy TRAC. It works as a hedge fund of all these tokens inside the ecosystem. Kind of works as a hedge fund because the utility of the token is different. I'm just sharing my opinion from the marketplace at this stage. It also has quite a nice utility. Basically, all the ordinals assets and BRC20s and assets from different meta protocols, they are just data on Bitcoin blockchain. And in order for this data to make sense, it needs to be structured. It needs to be indexed. And TRAC is basically an indexer for this data. So it's a necessary tool that is being used by developers on Bitcoin ecosystem. You might actually think of it as Chainlink in Bitcoin ecosystem. Quite bullish on this project for that reason, because it actually has real utility. It actually has engineers moving forward. It's one of the small amount of projects in BRC20 and ordinals that actually fundraised some money, so they would essentially be able to develop moving forward. And I do like very much the main engineer who is working on this project as well. Right now we can see that the market cap is 100 million at this stage. Fully diluted is the same because most of the tokens in BRC20 and ordinals, they are launched as fair launch. Speaking of our ranking, I would want to put it 25 to 50x. We would be planning to see TRAC at 5 billion market cap. From these levels, I think is quite doable, because I think that the end game in terms of the all of the BTC ecosystem, BTC layer 2s, BTC DeFi is going to be TRAC ecosystem versus stacks. I don't think we will have anything else, but we will see. Next project is a gaming token. The reason I have it here is because it has the connection of two narratives, of gaming and AI. I think it's going to do very well, because this would be two most bullish narratives for retail to actually get into the market. They are very easy to understand for retail when retail will be entering crypto market as well. Echelon Prime is at 350 million market cap at this stage, which is quite large. If you would ask me, in November it was at 75 million market cap, and fully diluted is 1.5 billion, which scares me a bit, because if you would be buying into this token, you would probably be getting diluted. But I do believe into the combination of narratives. I've seen some interviews with some of the team members. I think that the project would do quite well in the fully fledged bull market as well. With Echelon Prime, I would probably want to put it at first in 10 to 25x level, just because of the fact that fully diluted market cap is at 1.5 billion at this stage, which is quite large by itself. And I might imagine this project and 10 to 15 billion market cap at the end of the bull cycle. Here we basically have the website, Echelon Prime Foundation, powering parallel TCG and beyond with Prime. It's quite interesting that they're developing the game where NPCs inside the game, they would be AI based. So each person, each NPC, they will have AI implementation, and they will behave based on the set of parameters, and essentially their responses and outcomes, they will be generated with the help of AI. I think it's the future of gaming, and I think we would soon essentially be seeing even non-Web3 games coming out with the functionalities like that. Very bullish on implementation of AI in gaming overall. Next project is Dogecoin. Dogecoin is a meme coin from last cycle. I do think it's going to do very well this cycle as well. One of the reasons for that is because it was reaching 70 billion market cap last cycle, so it's 6x down at this stage from the all-time highs. And at the same time, Dogecoin is a fully fledged ecosystem. It even has its own ordinals inside the ecosystem as well. And as the main pusher, as the main narrative behind Dogecoin, we do have Elon Musk, who is the richest man officially alive, and essentially he would be pushing Dogecoin moving forward as well. He's launching rockets with the Dogecoin sign on them, so I think it's very close to retail in the US, and I think retail in the US, they will be buying heavily in Dogecoin and in PEPE once PEPE would be onboarded on Coinbase as well. It's quite hard from Dogecoin point of view, because I would want to either put it at 5 to 10x, the first one right here, or at 10 to 25x at the end. I would want to be conservative. I would put it at 5 to 10x, the first one, in this level. Heroes of Mavia. I do believe that this game has quite nice chance to become an Axie Infinity of this cycle. Axie Infinity of previous cycle was the game that basically reached 11 billion in the market cap at the highs, and we see that the fully diluted valuation for Heroes of Mavia is already at 2 billion. So it's kind of a bit bearish from this point of view, because from 2 billion in order to reach 11 billion you only have to do 5.5x's. But I do expect that full allocation will not be unlocked during 2024 and during the start of 2025, which I believe will be the end of the bull cycle. Therefore, we will probably not have full supply of the token. Right now we only have 12% of the token in the circulation. Therefore, I do think that it will do very, very well despite the large, fully diluted market cap. It's being played by a lot of people at this stage. They've done a launch very, very nicely. It's actually on mobile, which is very, very accessible. It's similar to Clash of Clans, which is very, very nice as well. You can see that they spend a lot of money on marketing of the whole thing too. So it's definitely a high quality product. Based on this website, you can even not understand that it's a Web3 blockchain project because it has quite nice quality by itself. Do I want to put it at 25 to 50x? I would just put it at 10 to 25x, but as the first token at this stage, because I do think it might do quite well on the market, and it's probably going to be one of these gaming picks that definitely has a chance of being an X infinity of this cycle. We are coming to the end of our list, therefore the picks that you would be seeing here, they are riskier than the picks that I was discussing previously. Therefore, they have the higher upside as well. enqAI. This is the token that recently just surged heavily. It did the 5x. And interesting thing with enqAI is that the fact that they are basically putting a bunch of LLMs decentralized on chain. I think they will do very, very well in the bull cycle. And in order to understand the project, what they're trying to do, they're trying to put ChatGPT decentralized on chain and without any censorship. Just imagine how huge it can actually be if they would be able to succeed. They should have launch, I think, next month, so we will see. I was actually doing quite a lot of research about this project, about team members, about the things that are happening with them. I do think it's a very, very nice project to have in your portfolio. 48 million market cap at this stage with the fully diluted valuation of 50 million. I do believe that enqAI is actually one of the most performing AI tokens in the last couple of months, because it basically did a 5x. And not a lot of AI tokens had done a 5x even at this stage. We are not yet in the full bull market. We are still very, very early. I would want to put enqAI at 50x plus before PEPE, just because of the reason that the market cap is 10 times lower than PEPE, and I think it has this huge and crazy AI narrative that's going to run like crazy this cycle as well. Just because of the people that made money in stock market, they would be looking to invest into AI projects as well. And we will definitely get new updates from OpenAI and ChatGPT that would also push this narrative in crypto moving forward. Next project I have on my list is AVAX Labs. AVAX Labs is a Bitcoin DeFi play. It's Stacks ecosystem play. It's basically a largest decentralized exchange in Stacks ecosystem. Therefore, all of the transactions, all of the swaps of different tokens in Stack ecosystems, they will go through AVAX Labs, which is quite nice by itself. Well, the market cap is not that large. Currently, it's 240 million at this stage, and fully diluted is 400 million currently. So I do think it's not that bad, and I do think it will do quite well. They have a team of killers, very, very great teams, people who were working in largest financial institutions previously before starting to work on this project. Therefore, I do think it will do quite well. I'm overall bullish on the Stacks ecosystem. I do think that it's going to be the end game of Bitcoin layer 2s, at least this cycle. I think next cycle we should be seeing more Bitcoin layer 2s coming up. It's kind of similar situation with Ethereum layer 2, because last cycle we only had MATIC as this like largest Ethereum layer 2, and this cycle we have the bunch of Ethereum layer 2s already. So I think this is something that is going to happen this cycle for BTC. For BTC we'll have one main layer 2, which is probably going to be Stacks this cycle, and next cycle we'll have a bunch of BTC layer 2. The main reason for that is because this thing that actually require time to be developed, and that's why if they're only receiving funds currently, if they're only able to fundraise at this stage, I'm speaking about Bitcoin layer 2s, that would essentially mean that they would be able to deliver something in the marketplace to launch their solutions closer to the next cycle, because they would need some time to gather the teams, to set up development processes, to work with the engineers, and actually be able to push something into the marketplace. AVAX Labs, I would put it 25 to 50x, essentially right after TRAC, just because of the fact TRAC has lower market cap. But from the ecosystem point of view, from the support of the ecosystem point of view, I do believe that AVAX Labs has way more support than Stacks. Next project is BOBO. BOBO is a meme coin on Ethereum. It recently just surged from the lows to highs. I believe it was 14x at least. It's Ethereum meme coin and it's heavily connected to PEPE. And it's actually a second largest used meme on crypto Twitter at this stage. It's kind of this meme of the bear market. So on each and every correction, you would probably see a bunch of BOBOs appearing on crypto Twitter as well. I do think that this meme will do very, very well because of the narrative of the connection to PEPE, and the team is quite connected to PEPE team as well. But in order for this meme to perform, we need PEPE to perform as well. So I would say it's an ultimate beta play on PEPE. I would want to put it at 50x plus from the current levels and even before enqAI, just because of the fact that it's lower market cap. It's also a meme coin. It's easier for people, it's easier for retail to buy the picture of dog than to buy a project that is trying to actually install decentralized LLMs on the blockchain. Very easy to understand. Last but not least is Arkadiko. Arkadiko is basically a lending protocol on Stacks ecosystem. On the platform, you are actually able to deposit your Stacks tokens and get stablecoins in Stacks ecosystem. So these are the stablecoins in BTC ecosystem, in BTC layer 2 ecosystem, which is basically Stacks that you can then use for products and for protocols inside the Stacks ecosystem. Quite bullish by itself. I think it's going to do nice by itself just because of the fact that the market cap is quite low. At this stage, it's 40 million currently, and with all these lending protocols, you have a certain flywheel that has been introduced just because of the fact that people are locking the stacks, they're receiving stable coins, and then with these stable coins, they can buy more stacks, they can lock up more stacks and receive more stable coins as well. So it's never-ending flywheel that should go crazy in the full bull once stacks would essentially be surging up like crazy. But there are definitely certain risks if essentially it won't fly the way I think it will fly. I would put Arkadiko 50x plus between enqAI and PEPE. I would say that the narrative is a bit weaker with stacks than essentially with AI and with meme coins as well. Well, this is my list, and I think it's quite safe portfolio, and I think it's quite safe portfolio even to be entering at this stage as well. If you have $5,000, if you have $10,000, if you have 100k, if you have 5 million, I think it's going to be quite nice to be entering this type of portfolio. Although if you expect a large amount of gains, I do think that this portfolio will be doing quite nicely in a fully fledged bull market. I basically covered a range of narratives that I think will outperform the market and I think will do very, very well. And the main reason for that is because they're quite easy to understand and they're close to people that would be entering the market as well. A very great run definitely awaits us in the future. The main thing is to position yourself properly, is to make sure that you are buying proper altcoins, and altcoin should outperform BTC. There is no reason to be buying into altcoin if it's not going to outperform BTC. That's the main core thing that you should be thinking when putting your money into any altcoin, because if it's not going to outperform BTC, why take more risks? You could just put your money into BTC and just sit in the Bitcoin and do nothing. I do think that a lot of people are going to make a lot of money, but at the same time, most of them, they will lose their money just riding all the portfolios back to zero. It's very, very important to know when to take profits, how to take profits, what are the stages of the market, and what to do once you are in the green. Once you have your portfolio surging up. I will be doing videos on this topic moving forward. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you would not want to miss them. Thank you very much for watching this video and see you in the next one.